Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Sim. Hello, old Crankman. I was just wondering about you yesterday. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. It's Lightning Saturday. We are continuing our journey so far here in California. We're just going to some former Army Air Corp air bases that are now... I figured you did, but we'll get back to that in a moment. Old Crankman, let me get through my little spiel here. So basically we're flying around old Army Air Corp bases. We started in California and eventually we're going to move across the United States. Some of these former Army Air Corp airfields are now, like Ontario for instance, is a international airport. Salinas is a municipal airport. Some of them are no longer in existence, or some of them became Air Force bases. So anyway, before we start the course, please pay attention to the following announcement from your streaming host. International streaming rules and regulations require me to provide the following information. I am on the Xbox Series S. I have the deluxe version of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We are currently flying, or we will be flying here shortly, the P-38 Lightning. We are departing from Ontario International, and when we are heading to Salinas, we're in the state of California. I'm not taking requests for flights at this time. My flight schedule is created well in advance and is subject to change based on my own personal schedule. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays will be or are vintage aviation flights. Tuesdays are jetliners and regional jet flights. Thursdays, military aviation flights. We just did the F-14 earlier this week. Saturdays are flights featuring the P-38. Sundays are our scenic flights. Tomorrow we will be in Lisbon. Any other information can be found in the description area below the video. Thank you. Yes, Crankman, what is your question? I will try to answer it while I get the plane started up. Hopefully we're going to have a nice sunrise, early morning flight. I will do my best to answer your question there, Crankman. It's a little, not quite the sunrise flight I was hoping for, but oh well. Get this thing started up, and I will be back and looking at the chat here in just a moment. Not trying to ignore anybody. Okay, prime. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. If I have the standard flight and I have DLC with it, what if I buy the no, the planes from the standard edition will not be gone. No. It'll just be added to your, it will stay in your hangar. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Hello, Amela, good morning, how are you? Close that one. All right. Let's call in for why we're not talking to ATC already, but okay. We want to head north. I bought on the standard edition and transfer. Yes, nothing should be erased, but just in case you may have to download stuff again, but it should be in your content manager folder area. That. Let's throw it back here so we don't go. Carolyn, oh, let's put our yoke back up. So, oh, I need to dial in my first. We are going 11040. I'm good, thank you, Mela. How are you? Nice to see you here on this Saturday morning. It's not too far from our airport. Once we get in the air, we'll use the tablet to help us navigate. I want to fly it on the... Yeah, you won't have to buy it again. You won't have to buy it again. Nope. If you already have it, it'll be in your content manager. You can delete it and reinstall it as you see fit. If you have any problems, you have to contact Microsoft support for that. Oh, wow, nice, Amela. Well, hopefully you get it soon. The next day or two. Hello, Skip. How are you? Over on the Posh channel. Nice to see you here. We're heading to Salinas today. California Cutie liveried P-38 Lightning. And before you ask, Camilla, I know you will, I had pork loin for dinner last night. It was quite delicious. It came out perfect. It was not dry. Sometimes as a storm chasing, yeah, there's nothing wrong. Use it for whatever you want. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you like to do. That's what you like to do. As long as you enjoy it, that's all that matters. All right, so we have a course of 267 once we take off. Basically, we're going to have to turn around and head almost the direction we're heading right now. That's okay. Good morning, Daniel. Yeah. Yes, I did. I buy the ribeye, which is a bit smaller than the normal one that they sell. So it's perfect for me. I can eat about half of it for dinner, and then I can have the other half for lunch the next day. Nice to see you, Daniel, over on the Posh channel. Guessing you are just about to make your way to the chip shop for your weekly visit. You were being asked for in Mick's stream last night, Daniel. I'm guessing you were pretty busy at work, so you didn't have a chance to pop in, but Somebody was missing the Daniel that Mick does. Alright, here we are. I'm already eating. Nice. Yeah, NG was asking about you last night, Daniel. He was hoping you would pop in just so Mick could do his Daniel thing. So, my brother's here. Oh, nice. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy. Yeah, just the pork, Camilla. I feel like with the soup, it has the vegetables already in it, so it's like I think I've had enough vegetables, so I can just have the pork. I know that's probably... I did with a little bit of Lebanon herb spices and some garlic, and it was fantastic. Alright, so I want to do... Oops. No. I'm not going anywhere yet, plane. Is it not wanting to swap over? There we go. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, I know, Mela. It was so good. Alright, so we got that. It's all set up. And... let's go ahead and get in the air. Put the brakes on. Throttle up. You ride, spent the, oh, nice. Well, hopefully you guys have a nice visit. When's the last time you saw him? I always forget there is a little thing that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to add about 3 degrees of... Alright, are we past the time to climb? No, not yet. Alright, let's get the... $267. Pardon me, folks. I'll be back in the chat here in just a moment. 270 will be fine. Let's get back below. All right. Oh, wow. So it's been a while then. There's a big old crusty salute to Ontario International. So we still have... Alright, so we're heading in the right direction now. That's a good sign. And away we go. Surprised Mr. Addies isn't here. It might be a quiet chat today, and that's okay. It happens. Alright, I need to dial in my next, it's 11435. So where we're going to today, for those of you who are new to the channel or have not, so Salinas, we are heading, basically, we're going to be inland from the Monterey Bay area. We flew through there the other day in the F-14. I spent a lot of time in and out of that area. Because it was one of the ways you could go through Salinas and then go out towards Monterey to get to Laguna Seca, or vice versa, you can go in. Depending on the traffic pattern of the weekend, you know, when people would be leaving, sometimes it was easier to go out through Salinas, or other times it was easier to go. So we want to turn to the right a little bit more. Oh, thank you, Daniel. You're the first one to do so. You broke the ice. Thank you. All right, so yeah. So now we can go towards our next. Usually it's a mellow that does it. It used to be Joseph would do it, but I guess he can't be arsed. Alright, so 53 nautical miles here to our next waypoint, our next navigation point. I know. Usually Mel's, like I said, Mel's usually the first one to do it. Was enjoying a VR flight over Spain and about 40 nautical miles from runway. Sim decided, oh no, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much strange stuff since the Sim update came out that this don't make any sense right now. But it's weird. Some people have issues, and it's one of those strange hit and misses, you know, situations. There's Joseph. Speak of the devil. Yeah, it's very weird that some people are having that problem, and other people they can fly. You know, and I guess maybe it's what you fly in, or I don't know. It's very strange. You know, that's the crazy part in all this. There's no like simple answer. You know. Everyone's fine, Joseph. How are you? So we are well, let's see how far off we are. Oh, that's right, I have to come back. Oh, yeah, I have to put this away. All right, so yeah, we're not too. We're basically parallel of our second mirror. Yeah, yeah. It's what I've heard now, people are saying that they've had to read, like, normally they had like, I usually had like 4 gigs of rolling cache. Other people have moved it all the way up to 16 to get it to be stable. It's a very strange sort of situation to be in. I don't really know what the solution is, but that seems to be what people are doing, is adjusting their rolling cache. But yeah, it's very strange stuff. Mr. Addies, what are you like today? Just want to know. Yeah. See, that's the, yeah. It's weird because some people are like, well, that's the solution, and other people are like, yeah, no, not really. Ooh, look at this. Look how, there we go. Little mountaintop flying here. Ooh, that's going to be a good picture right there. We got to get a picture of that. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Although it might blend in too much. Nick might question my photographic capabilities. There we go. Get one from the other side. There we go. Just that and yeah, I've heard some people like clear it out and then they're able to, it fixes. Yeah, I remember you were talking about that last night, Joseph. So so basically, were you nervous for no particular reason whatsoever, you know, at the end of the day? One thing you should know, Joseph, is you should never feel embarrassed about having emotions. Because if people embarrass you for that, they're not people you want in your life. 435, that's where we're heading now. Oh, we never swap over. Oh, that would help if we swapped over, huh? Oops, I can't because this is in the way. There we go. Now we're heading towards the right. Now I got to change 11430. Oops. I just accidentally changed it again. Yes, I did. Ay, ay, ay. right. You know, I wish I had a yoke and all that, because I would probably just fly this through these areas manually and just kind of zip in and around these, you know, like this area right through here. You know, it'd be a lot more fun, I think. So tomorrow, first thing, we will be 7:30 Eastern, 11:30 UTC, 12:30 UK time. We will be taking a ride on Cathcart Circle first, and then we will head over to Lisbon. Bella's here. Joseph, it's still early in the morning, and Bella might be having breakfast. You know, it's it's not like lunchtime where you're at, so just Mela will respond when Mela's ready to. Just relax. It's okay. Don't fret so much. It's all good. Alright, so we're getting closer to our next waypoint. Yeah, I don't know why you always think that it's like later in the day. It's only like just before 8 here in the morning, and Bella's probably still waking up and having coffee and breakfast or something, and you know, just set ident off. It's 3 p.m. where you're at. Oh, so you're in Europe then, Skip. You're on past the UK going east. Happy to have everybody here today on this Saturday morning, afternoon, evening. Finland. Oh, okay. Nice. Never been through there. So we're going to go about that way. Still have... Okay, we're almost there. I think, you know what we need to do? We need to pull our RPMs back. Now it should be in the green. I need to start paying attention to more of that stuff, like this. Like, it's still kind of high. And maybe that stuff isn't like completely lined up just yet. Yeah, the gauges aren't reading. That's probably something I'm going to have to fix here pretty soon. I'm sure they're already working on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and swap over to our next frequency. And that is... Yep, okay, so we need to turn... I think we're going to have to climb up a little bit more. So we're still flying basically on the right track. You know, we'll intercept that again, and we'll turn. I just wanted to make sure we are able to. So that should be, is that I-5? I think that's one of the major freeways here in California. I think that's I-5 that goes basically through the whole stretch of California up into Oregon. I think that's what that is. I could be wrong. Good morning, Nick. How are you, good sir? Just a little bit more altitude, just to make sure. Well, I'd prefer to be a little bit closer, but that's okay. Once we get on the other side of these mountains, we'll drop down altitude a bit. Let's go to 10, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, I was just telling Daniel his presence was being requested last night in your chat by NG because he wanted to hear the Daniel. Although Mick does it much better. I can't do it as well as he does. Alright, so there we are. We're What'd you do to your ankle, Nick? Did you roll it on something? Did you catch it on something and just pulled and it was like... Urgh! Well, you know what my suggestion is, Mick. Drink water and change your socks. That'll solve the problem magically. Like, you feel like a million times better. You'll be like a spry young man again. That's all you got to do. Drink water and change your socks. Nice scenery here. Yeah, of course it is. I'm not worried about altimeter readings right now. Altimeter setting is a bit bust, but that's okay. Yeah, that's your joint problem. Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. I thought it was like you were walking around the house or something. You took a step and rolled your ankle or something. Oh boy. Alemi? I guess that's... You're saying Amella's name backwards? We still got, this is probably the longest part of our flight, 117 nautical miles. We only have, yeah, 80, 82. We've done a little bit already. I am sure Joseph Mick knows what to do for his situation. When you're eating now, so I can't pinch any more chips. See, that's where you should have gotten the extra portion there, Daniel. Okay, Ibrahima, I'm sorry, I do not understand French. I told you that yesterday. I tried to decipher what you said, and so did two other people, and it did not make any sense. So if you would care to clarify what you're trying to say, I'd appreciate it. But good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I don't speak French fluent, so I do understand the bonjour, the hello, but everything else doesn't translate. You came in the chat yesterday, and then even somebody who speaks French did not understand you. So yeah, I know. I don't understand it either, but yeah, don't know what to tell you. But as always, you're more than happy, or more than welcome to hang out. But if there's a way you could speak English, I would greatly appreciate it. You know, one of the things that I always reminisce about with when I used to go to Laguna Seca is in the morning, you know, like when me and my friend would be waiting to go get into the track and park. And for the first few hours or so, it was foggy and a little bit of, you know, kind of like what we're seeing right here. And then all of a sudden, hold on just a second, Mel. All of a sudden it was like by 11:30, 12 in the morning, it's all gone. And you're wearing a jacket or a sweater or something, and next thing you know, you're like sweating because it's like, what in the world, is going on here? But yeah, this little fog, low clouds always makes me think about Laguna Seca. Yes, Camilla, what is your question? What can I do for you? What can I answer, if at all possible? We're going to hold you to that, Joseph, because you've said that many a times, and then all of a sudden, when it comes time to get on the track, you can't be arsed. So, if you're not going to be there, say it now, or forever hold your peace. Did I have dessert? Yes, I had some fudge mint cookies for dessert. That was my dessert yesterday. And you can get those at Walmart in the cookie section. Okay. Because if you back out, I'm going to give you crap for it. I promise you. Because you're swearing right now you're going to be there. If you're not there this time, Joseph, you're You're gonna go on kitchen patrol for the rest of the month, which is only today. You have to go to the kitchen and help your mom clean up in the kitchen. Milk cake. Ooh, I don't think I've ever had milk cake, but that sounds interesting. You know what kitchen patrol means, don't you, Joseph? Washing the pots and pans and all the dishes, emptying the trash. You're gonna go on KP duty, so you better be there. Plus, you're gonna have to go to the shop and get your mom a new mop too, as part of your penance for not showing up to race. Yeah, it was always. It's interesting because when the light changes, when it's overcast and all that, right? It's way different, as far as the. But when that also going to do a run in Train Simulator from London to Edinburgh, 300 miles total. Oh. Wow. Ooh, we had shredded barbecued beef with rice and a wrap. That sounds good. Yeah, it's a very small package of these fudge mint cookies. They are very delicious. I had a few this morning with my coffee. Matter of fact, my coffee has gone cold, I'm sure. I think I can drop down a little bit more. I think we are out of the woods, so to speak. We've been over the hill and through the woods. We are on our way to grandmother's house. Well, not really. I watched some movies yesterday after Mitt concluded his rant last night in FIFA. Watched, I don't know if anybody else has seen it, especially outside the United States, but there's a movie called Moneyball with Brad Pitt, which is about, well, it's about baseball, and specifically the Oakland A's, and how he tried to change the way, because they had a much lower budget, the Oakland A's did, compared to somebody like a team like the New York Yankees, who has over $100 million for salary. They only had so much, so they had to get players, sign players who could afford, like, maybe $250,000 a year or something. It's a very interesting story. The movie was a bit. They took some liberties with the story. The person that worked with Billy Beane said that there was a lot of things in the movie that were not true, but yeah, it's a really interesting movie. And he's so driven in his vision that he some of the people that were part of the A's organization for many years quit. Like, there's one scout, he was like the head scout, quit or whatever, or at least in the movie he quit. I don't know if he did in real life, but he there was in 2002 they were close to getting to the World Series, and then they lost in the playoffs, so they never made it. But yeah, it's a really interesting movie with Brad Pitt. I know the F-18. Yes, I know the plane. I know we got it with the Game of the Year edition. Some people said it's better than it was some time ago because they did do some stuff with Sim Update, the most recent Sim Update 9. Some people said it's getting there, but it's not like perfect, and not that anything in the sim will probably ever be truly perfect. But yeah, I've tinkered around with it. Matter of fact, that should be on my list of things to do, is to kind of just try it out and see how I do with it, and see if it's something that I could put in the repertoire, as I like to call it. 11730. I need to tune in the next frequency there. One seven. Yeah, that's something I would like to fly in the. Yes, they did. Yep, that's the one, Mick. Yes, there's this guy wrote a book, and I've read it before, but it's very, like, if you're a numbers person, it makes sense. Bill James wrote the baseball. What is it called? The baseball something. But he analyzed hello, Glenn. Nice to see you here. Like all the stats, the on-base percentages. That was the one thing that they were always looking at, was the on-base percentage. But yeah, it's very baseball. What's it called? The baseball. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it was all about the numbers and the percentages and stuff like that. But it's a very interesting movie. I like it because it's just I like movies that are it's a character study in a way, but it's also I find some of these movies they're almost in a way like leadership studies. He was trying to lead the team, not necessarily lead it because that's what Art Howe was supposed to be doing, but he was trying to get it in the right direction. So he was like the leader above Art Howe. And he, obviously Art Howe, they conflicted a lot. Art didn't believe in what they were trying to do necessarily at first, and then he kind of gave it a chance, and then he kind of got on board with it. But yeah, it was a very difficult situation, I think. I can't imagine if Tommy Lasorda went to Tony La Russa. If he had stayed there, I think him and if he had stayed there, I don't think him and Billy Bean would have gotten along very well. Yeah, really good movie. If you ever get a chance to check it out, I highly recommend it. Alright, where are we at? We have 20 nautical miles, and then we're going to turn for 76 nautical miles towards our airport there in Salinas, and then we will be on the ground before we know it. I found the film was more like you don't always need well, I think what he was trying to do was they could have the best team, but they had to do it within the money that they had available. Like, they had to kind of create, when they lost Giambi and Damon and Isringhausen, for instance, they had to find players to, that's why they're talking about aggregates and, like they're looking for people with a 365 on base percentage or something to replace Giambi and Damon. But they had a good team. That's the funny thing. They'd always be close. But then they would never, like, they'd never cross the line in a way that showed that what they did was the right thing. Although 2 years later, like they say at the end of the movie, the Red Sox did the same thing. Although I don't know that they, because the Red Sox still had a very large salary cap, ability to play kind of like or pay their players like the Yankees did, but they applied the same principles, but I think they didn't worry about the money aspect of it. So they got rid of their older players. They probably traded them off, or offered them a league minimum to stick around and be a designated hitter or whatever, or pinch hitter or designated hitter in the American League. But it's a really good movie. I always enjoy watching it, and part of it's because I'm from the Bay Area, so there's a lot of little areas that I pick up on. I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly where they are. I mean, I've been to the Oakland Coliseum many times for A's games when I was younger, because I didn't know about the Giants on the other side of the bay. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. So we are going to be turning 306 coming up. I already have that next. Yep, it's already dialed in. Perfect. Put that away for right now. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies to watch, just because it's, there's some humor there, but it's also like he's driven. He knows he's on the right path, but when he needs a little bit more money, for instance, the owner's like, yeah, we don't have any. There's nothing. There's not. I can't give you even a little bit. So he had the right vision. It's just that he didn't have enough backing, I think, to get them over the finish line in a way that proved it. Although, I mean, that 20 wins where they set the record for that season, that showed that they were on the right path. But eventually, sooner or later, somebody's going to bring that all to a grinding halt. Well, that's good, Joseph. But yeah, it's one of my. I didn't watch it when it first came out, but when I watched it one time, I was like, this is a very interesting movie. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. All right, so let's go ahead and swap frequencies. All right, and we want to go 306. Yeah, certainly it's become one of my favorites. Oh, thank you all for coming in. 7 viewers, 4 thumbs up. Greatly appreciate that. Nice to see you all here on this Saturday morning, afternoon, evening. We are on our way to Salinas in the P-38. We took off from Ontario International in Southern California. We're heading to near the Monterey coastline. We'll be inland from the Monterey coastline, but if we were up higher, we would probably be able to see it from up higher, but there's no need for us to go super higher. We could probably do with just a little bit of more altitude just to make sure we get over those. So yeah, I think 8,000 should give us enough room to work with. No, I'm not playing live traffic. No, I turned that off because it became too much of a headache because the AI traffic, I don't have multiplayer on right now either. Eventually in the future that will be something. But no, I don't have the live traffic on because the radio traffic was too much and the AI either does not follow ATC instructions correctly when they're descending, or they get on the runway and then they don't move, and it's just then you end up going around a bunch of times because the AI traffic is not smart. So no, I just turned that off. A lot of people said that was one of the first things they did was turn off the live traffic. So no. But thank you for the question. Young, wild, and free. I think if I was on the PC, I know there's VATSIM and there's like other ways to be more immersive in the sim, but on the Xbox side, it's very limited, unfortunately. Plus, you know, being streaming, I can't, you know, like if I had all that on, I'd be talking over it, or, you know, it would kind of drown out my voice as well. So it's just a very, you know, it's a little bit easier to deal with it like this. So. There's a little bit of wind pushing us offline there, off track. Oh, 5 viewers over on the Posh channel. Thank you all. That's what we call the Twitch, is the Posh channel, because the video is usually a lot better to look at. Things are a little bit more smooth and not compressed or anything. So. Keep mine on to meet other people, but yeah, it's just, but yeah, other people have asked when they can fly with me, and part of it is I'm still learning, you know, a lot of stuff, so it's just easier for me to fly on my own. I do join a few other folks who do have a multiplayer flight going on, but yeah, eventually, at some point, I will host. We'll do that, but not right now. Did I tinker with the settings for? No, I have not. I just left it left it alone. And so, no, I didn't mess with anything or. Just it's really, I know for me it's very difficult to fly manually. Like I did it before, my left thumb especially was really worn out, you know, like tired, you know, just trying to hold the yoke, the small little yoke basically, which is the thumbstick. So yeah, it's But I do want to get a yoke and throttle and all that stuff eventually. It's just I gotta find the space for it and all that. Like I think I could use like a small little table in front of my chair, but yeah, it would be much nicer to be able to fly with all that, because I would be able to fly manually, you know, a lot easier, I think. But like tomorrow when we're flying around Lisbon, for instance, you know, we'll fly manually. Or well, basically what we'll do is we'll take off and I'm going to mark waypoints, you know, like some of the points of interest, and just fly around, you know, as best as I can with that. So... Well, we'll have the points of interest on, I should say, not the... We won't, like... But, you know, I'm going to take off a certain direction and try to follow, like, a path around. It was interesting. You could see the difference in the when they took these photos. This side is much greener, and this side is not so green. I mean, it's got some green, but it looks like it's more drier. You know, like this was in the summertime or something. This was probably either in the spring or early fall. But you could see that line very clearly where it changes over. Alright, so we are 40 nautical miles from our airport. So it should be somewhere up in there. I believe just as we get past that, right over there somewhere, we should start to see our always on autopilot because I cannot have my that's why that's what I do. If I can, although I tried to figure out a way to get like the plane kind of trimmed out, like the 152, you know, if you trim it out and just try to get the throttle just right, but it's very difficult with just the controller. Like you have to kind of keep your eye on it, but yeah, it's not easy, but yeah, if I can, and I know most people would prefer that I fly this manually, but yeah, it's a lot of work to do with just the thumbstick. So, but yeah, if I can then get a yoke and a throttle and all that, oh yeah, we'd be having much more fun. We'd be flying way more manually. I don't have to care about the free. Yeah, exactly that too. You know, you could just kind of sit back and relax, and even though there's not a co-pilot because there's no second seat there, at least, you know, you don't have to worry about trying to handle the radios and all that at the same time. So yeah, tomorrow will be, I'm not sure which plane we're going to fly yet tomorrow over Lisbon. But I got to look at that later today, and I do got to spend some time in the F-18 to see how that is now, to see if we can add that into our military aviation Thursday repertoire. I don't know if that does anything. But thank you all again for coming in today. Thank you for the 5 thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. We'll be on the ground here pretty soon. Go. I think by the time I land, I'll have a short amount of time, and I'm going to try to... I may not be able to pop in with Allison this morning, but maybe later on in the flight I can try to catch up with them. But I'm going to definitely have them on Twitch and keep an eye on their journey today. That's the only thing now. If I want to fly with them, I'd have to start a little bit earlier so I have enough time to, you know, have more breakfast and all that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching Allison and Captain Arish and their continuing voyages of recreating Amelia Earhart's flights. Captain Arish doing the celestial navigation. Allison doing the flying. But I can't fly it yet. I want to learn to fly the... No, you definitely can't land at every airport. You got to find, you know, an airport that can handle, like JFK, for instance, or Heathrow or Frankfurt. You know, you got to find airports that can handle 747. It's not a bad. I mean, the 747. You know, if you put your flight plan, you climb out. It's fairly easy going. You know, like I couldn't imagine trying to manually fly that for like several hours on a flight. You know, something like that. That's way, you know, if I had but even then, like if I had the yoke and throttles and pedals and all that, it would still be so much work to do manually. Like I don't know that I would, you know, it would be too much. But you know, the autopilot in that definitely, it does help having that. All right, we should be coming up on our destination here. Oops. We are 7. Okay, yep, definitely. Lose some more altitude. All right, let's contact Salinas. We should be right within. There it is. Alright, we're going to find our airport all by ourselves. Alright folks, well we are near the end of our journey here today. I do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. A nice little flight here over California. Well, that can't be I-5. That's I-5, I think, is out. Yeah, that's not I-5 that we flew near. I-5 is more in the Central Valley. This would have been 880? Yeah, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've driven these freeways here in California. Alright, I think I see our airport right over there. I think I can go ahead and turn off the a little bit of flap going to so what we'll do is we'll fly over the airport and we'll come back around and we'll put it on the ground. And as always, once we start our approach, I'm going to turn the laptop to the side a little bit so I don't get distracted by the chat. Maybe that isn't our... It says it's up in front of us here. Might not be it. Oh, we'll find it. One way or another. We'll find it. Oops. Okay. That was right there in front of us then. That is a different airport then. Something wrong. Sometimes it's really difficult to judge these yeah, it's still I think that's our... There is an airport over there. I don't think that's ours. It should be somewhere over here, I think. Oh, it's right there. Ta-da! So we want to come around. This should be our runway right here. 26. Yep, there it is. All right. That's going to help get a little bit lower here. And we'll, once we get down to 2,500, we'll... In fact, we can go ahead and make a little bit of adjustment here to kind of set us up for our left turn. Alright, let's see which way I want to come in at. Oh. But yeah, I got it. It's fine. I usually put a little bit of flap down just to start slowing down a little bit. I can assure you this isn't my first flight. I may not be perfect at it. I figure it out every time. I get better at it, so thank you for the suggestion. Sorry if you can hear that car alarm in the background. Seems to be a ongoing problem here in my neighborhood. Somebody hits their button and it just goes on forever. I'm going to turn the laptop to the side so I can focus on landing. I'll be back in the chat as soon as we're on the ground. right. There's our runway. I'm going to turn in here in a moment. We'll be on the ground. Ooh, that wind is certainly kicking us around. It's not like it's super strong, but wow. I don't think that's our... Nope. That is not our runway. I turned in too early. We need the longer runway. Oops-a-daisy. Alright, hold on a second. Good thing I checked the heading, because that is not our runway. Our runway is... Oops. I hate when that thing is... Yeah, I picked a longer runway. Yep, I turned it way too early. My mistake. I probably could have landed there anyway and we would have been fine, but I wanted the longer runway just to have a little bit more room if we have to kind of hover over the runway to get before we put it on the ground. Alright, it's right there. Okay. I lost my visual references before. That's all right. We'll get it on the ground here in a minute. All right, here we are. Here we go. A little bit more steep than I would prefer, but we're going to get there. Oops, a daisy. Oop, little bump, little bump, little bump. That's all right. We made it. All right. Well, on behalf of myself and the entire flight crew, we'd like to welcome you to Salinas, California. Local time is actually 6:01 in the morning. Pacific Standard Time. We understand and appreciate the fact that you have many options when it comes to your Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream viewing pleasures, and we are glad that you flew with us today. We'll be back tomorrow, flying around Lisbon, Spain. Yeah, I was coming a little fast there. I should have backed off the throttle. Is subtitles a feature in the game, or was this YouTube right now? I'm not sure. Thank you. Oops. Let's contact ground. Parking. Not too far. Go to the fuel stand. Always. Yeah, well, I misjudged the runway first. You know, I was turning in on the wrong one, but we got it figured out. It's all good. But I chose this one specifically because it was a longer runway, just in case we needed a little bit more room to work with. But it worked out in the end. Oops, a daisy. The window's open here so we can have some of that nice Pacific air. Oh, thank you, young Wild Free. Thank you. Great. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Appreciate it. So tomorrow we'll kick things off with the trip on the Cathcart Circle, then we'll go flying around Lisbon, and we'll wrap up our Sunday there. You know what I didn't do? I didn't turn any of my lights on at all. There was a few things I forgot. So how are we going to park? That doesn't seem very practical. Like, something's got to move. It doesn't seem very practical place for the fuel stand right by this tower. Wow, okay. Oops. Nope. Ah. Okay. Let's go ahead and shut it. There we go. All right. There we are, hour and 17 minutes. Nice. There it is. So, that will be it for today, folks. I will see you all tomorrow once again. 7:30 Eastern, 11:30 UTC, 12:30 UK time. In the Cathcart Circle. Hold on just a second, folks. All right, anyway. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, exactly. So that's just one of those little things, but it's okay. We got here. But anyway, I will see you all later. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, early Thursday, or early Sunday, I guess, in some parts. I don't know why I said Thursday. Until then, peace, live long and prosper.